Schmack-a-ma-god, people, it's time for an album review, and Omar Gutierrez sent a donation for me to talk about it, because on one of my past videos, I do remember this actually. I said, you know what, I want to talk about this album, but I never got around to it. And then he saw that video and he sent a donation. He said, dude, I want you to talk about Generation Swine. I don't like it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Well, for the most part, I don't like it either. I put it on today, and yeah, there's a couple songs I like on it. Not a lot. And I will talk about them in a second, but I'm going to tell you my weird history with Mötley Crüe. Going way back, you know, I bought Too Fast for Love and Shout at the Devil. And then I bought Theater of Pain on the strength of Shout at the Devil, and I found that album to be very bad. Though it did have a couple good, I liked Use It or Lose It, I liked Louder Than Hell, I liked Fight for Your Rights. Had some good songs on it. And then, but it was such a downgrade from, you know, Shout at the Devil. I was kind of like, eh. And then Girls, Girls, Girls came out, and I saw the Wild Side video, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get that too. I like that song. And I found that album to be not that good. Same thing with Dr. Feelgood. I saw the Dr. Feelgood video. I went and bought the album. Disappointed. And then the '94 album came out with Karabi, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the best thing they've done since Shout. It's a kick-ass record. But, you know, I think it only went gold. Or, yeah, I think it went gold, but it's still considered a flop from a multi-million-dollar selling band. You know, the record company was like, you know, you got to get rid of Karabi and bring back Vince, or we're not promoting you guys. And they, you know, they brought back Vince, and they released this. And I bought it on the strength of the '94 album, because I understood Karabi had a lot to do with the songwriting. And I was like, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to check it out. And boy, it sucks. For the most part. There's a couple songs I like on here, but they're not like Mötley Crüe songs. They're just, it's just weird. This album, they're confused. They're trying to be modern with all these different elements, and it just fails miserably. And okay, I'm going to start with the first song, Find Myself. I gotta find myself today. I gotta find. Now, I'm listening to this today, and I'm like, you know, this ain't that bad. I mean, it's weird. You got Nikki Sixx singing the opening lines, the verses, and then Vince comes in, and it's okay. I mean, it's all right for an album opener, but yes, it doesn't sound like Crüe. It's very weird sounding, but I don't mind it. And the next one I don't mind either, Afraid. Which is the single, the first single of the album, and Nikki Sixx wrote it from his then wife, Donna D'Erico. And it's not bad, but you know, I mean, it's them trying to be current. It's so obvious. Even the video is very Marilyn Manson-ish, with that woman and the cage and stuff. It's, you know, them trying to be modern, you know, trying to fit in with the times. And it didn't work. I remember it wasn't really pushed well on MTV, though. Nikki Sixx later said that the record company really dropped the ball on this album, and I don't think they did. This album debuted at number 4, and they pushed it, but it's a horrible album. You know, they pushed it as much as they could, didn't do well because it sucks. Because right with the next song, Flush. What the hell is this crap? I mean, oh my God, it's them like, I don't know. I saw the tour, by the way, and I gotta say, the tour was pretty damn good. But when they played this song, Flush, they had a big screen behind them, and all they showed was footage of murders and people blowing their heads off, and kind of made me queasy looking at it. And the song, without the visuals, would make me queasy anyway. It's a terrible song. And then it goes into the title track, and the way it starts, it sounds like Mötley Crüe. But then it just goes into this freaking horrible, just it doesn't sound like there's any thought put into it, trying to be like heavy and edgy, but it's really crappy and crappy.
Back in your face, such a disgrace. We're the generation swine.
It's horrible. It just sucks. And then it goes into confessions. Now, this is the one I heard today where I was like, you know what I mean? It sounds nothing like Mötley Crüe at all. It's kind of got that flush feel, but I kind of like it. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was okay. But it doesn't sound like Mötley Crüe. It just doesn't fit the album. It doesn't, I mean, I guess it fits the album because the album's so damn confusing with all these different elements they're trying to put into it. But, I don't know, it would have been good as a B-side. A good B-side. And then Beauty, which is the second single about Divine Brown. Was that her name? The hooker that huge Hugh, whatever, that actor picked up and got busted. And they wrote a song about her, and it's horrible. It's just terrible.
Decked out like an hourglass, ammonia and razor blade.
You know, Tommy Lee's singing it, Vince is singing it, and it brings out in all this like industrial kind of sound. It doesn't rock, man. It sucks. Next one, Glitter. This one I really like, and I know that's not a popular thing to say, but I don't give a fuck. I think that song is awesome.
Little, don't you leave me. Please believe me.
But again, I mean, I think if that song was released in the 80s, even though how different it is, it would have got a better response when Mötley Crüe can release a crappy album and it tops the charts in the 80s. And if they would have done something like Glitter that's so different and out there, and I think it would have done pretty well, and they would have been praised as, wow, man, look, these guys are kind of like, you know, they can do something extremely different and make it work. And that's what they were going for this album. And Glitter is a great song now. The version that's on the Greatest Hits is terrible. I don't like that. I like this version. And I know it's not a song many like. It sucks to many of you, I understand, but I'm not you, man. I think it's great. I think it's one of the best songs on here. Then it goes into Anybody Out There. What a crappy, short song, and it's just crappy. It's just thrown together. Let's try to be punk now. You know, out of all these weird experimental noises, now they want to be a punk rock band, and a real crappy punk rock band. Anybody Out There is... Nobody was out there for this crap. Let me tell you. It's horrible. Then we go into Let Us Pray, the best song on the album. The only one that features, I believe, John Corabi's voice. He does the scream in the song. I think the song is great. It's heavy, crunchy, but it also has kind of like a different elements put into it. I think it's pretty badass, but, you know, I mean, there's no guitar solos or stuff, and Mick Mars said he hated this album. He hated making it. It was a nightmare for him.
I didn't like any of the songs on that album, actually. I had a really rough time, and every time that I would come up with a part, it was always wrong. And I always got criticized, and my self-confidence went way down. That album fucked me up.
All right, the next one is really bad. Rocket Ship. It's Nikki Sixx singing, and he's trying to be David Bowie now. Now it's going into the David Bowie type of element with a spacey sound with guitar, acoustic guitar, and terrible singing, and it's just abysmal. Just crap. And then it goes into another crappy song called A Rat Like Me. Hey, let's try to be punk rock again. And it just sucks. It's just them. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this. It's just, listening to it today, it was like, God, I don't even remember this crap. You know? A rat like me, rat like me. It's terrible, horrible. Then, alright, number 12, track 12. Let's take something from the past and make it shitty. They got Shout at the Devil from 83, put it on this album, and added, like, it sounds like Rob Zombie, like More Human Than Human, to this song, adding with no guitar solo, and it's just horrible, horrible, horrible crap. And you know it's Tommy Lee, because when Tommy Lee left the band after this, or after the Greatest Hits, they started playing it with Randy Castillo and Samantha Maloney, was that her name? The girl drummer. They started playing it in the original form. Tommy Lee comes back to this crap. Nobody likes Shout at the Devil 97 more than the original. Nobody. And if you say you do, you're a nobody. Just kidding. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. All right. And then to cap it all off, Brandon. You know, and this is a song Tommy wrote about his son. And no wonder his son beat his ass later on, because his son beat his ass for writing this damn song. It's horrible. She is your mom. You know, and that's the thing too. It's like, at this point, Mötley Crüe were like nothing except for Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee was always in the news because he married Pamela Anderson, made the sex tape, and you know, this was the Pamela Anderson band, because Pamela Anderson was extremely popular at the time. Tommy scored with her, brought a lot of attention to Tommy, not really Mötley Crüe, but to Tommy. And they capitalized on it because Pamela Anderson came out on the American Music Awards, introduced them, and but yeah, this song Brandon's about his son, and it's so horrible. It's a joke. I mean, for Nikki Sixx to say that the record label did not promote this, I mean, man, how the hell did the record company allow you to put Brandon on here? You know, I mean, seriously, they must have. All right, do it. You know, listening to this, you can tell the record company has nothing to do with it as far as their musical input, because they would never okay a song like Brandon. No freaking way. No way about it. But Brandon is horrible. Now, there are bonus tracks on here. And the first one is horrible. Afraid Swine remix, jumbo mix. Terrible. Next one, Wreck Me, unreleased track. This song is very industrial, but I dig it. I actually like this more than just about every song on this album. But it's very industrial and weird sounding, but I really like it. Next one's called Kiss the Sky, which I believe was embryonic version of Confessions or Flush, one of the two. Nothing to talk about. And then it ends with an early demo of Rocket Ship. Horrible. Horrible, with a few tracks that I actually like, I'm warmed up to. And I will say, I don't think it's their worst album. I think their worst one's that Saints of Los Angeles garbage. And then, I mean, it's not an album, but those songs they did for The Dirt with like a Virgin cover and all that shit, fucking horrible. So, this would be above those. And then everything else, you know, I would put every other album, even those crappy ones that came out before this, like Dr. Feelgood, I don't like that album. I like the song Dr. Feelgood. Kickstart My Heart's okay. The rest is just horrible, man. And same I can say about Girls, Girls, Girls. Most of Theater of Pain. So, yeah. And at this time, Mötley Crüe also released this drink called Mötley Brew, that if you drank it, your pee would turn different colors. I never got to taste that, but I did a little research before making this review today, and I looked at some stuff, and yeah, they released a beverage called Mötley Brew that didn't take off. I never tried it, so there you go. But there you go. And oh, they also released Glitter as a single, the third single. The second single is Beauty. Glitter was the third single, and by that time, nobody cared. I didn't even know Glitter was a single till looking into it today. I was like, really? It was a single? But I like it. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Don't excuse me. Be offended if you want. I don't care. And I also got 2 of the 3 Afraid singles. Don't ask me why. And what's on here? It's got songs from the Quarantine album. Was that the name of it? Quarantine. That was with the Karabi lineup, where each of them did a song. Where it has Welcome to Planet Boom, Father, and Bittersweet. And then it also has Lust for Life, the Iggy Pop single, which Vince Neil released that as a B-side, or I don't know. I know he did it with his solo band from the album prior, Carved in Stone, and they added it on here, you know, make it sound like it was if it was Mötley Crüe. But yeah, I have these as well, and it says here 2 of 3, and this one doesn't even say anything. This must be 1. I don't have 3. But there you go. That's my review of Generation Swine. Mick Mars hated it. Vince Neil later said he hated it. And Nikki Sixx, I don't think has said he's hated it, but he says he hates that 94 album. Tommy Lee loves it. He loves this crap.
That was one of those records where, you know, Nikki got to sing. I sang a bunch on that record with Vince. You know, a lot of times Vince and I were singing together, and the Vince's, you know, high, you know, range of his voice and my sort of raspier, you know, voice together sounded really cool, and we used that a lot.
So there you go. That's my review for you, Omar, of the Generation Swine. So thank you, buddy, for the review donation. I reviewed it for you. You don't like it, I don't blame you. Leave your comments below, those who hate it and like it. I know one guy from Australia that has cerebral palsy, loves it. But he loves anything Mötley Crüe does. So there you go. Anyway, thank you all for watching. And if you'd like to donate, I got a PayPal in the description below. And please subscribe to my channel if you have not. So, stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath. And now this. And smack 'em a gob.